Don't waste your time listening to crappy headphones. You deserve better than what's in the box. With the Clarity HD headphones, listen your way, Bluetooth, analog, or digital. Find yours at PLUGHITZLive.com/monster.
Hey guys, Scott here with PLUGHITZ Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. We're here at the FLIR booth at CES 2017, and we're going to talk to John about the drones that are behind us and kind of where drones and thermal imaging come together.
Sure. Well, kind of the beginning of the thermal imaging of trying to get the handheld systems and the inspection stuff that we use. There's a lot of that stuff here in the booth that we use this inspection standpoint to look at cold spots on escaping heat or hot spots in heat or search and rescue or other things like that. So there's a lot of great things on the scientific side. On the image behind us, where you have a highly cooled camera that is super sensitive to any thermal radiation. And so trying to put these out on the drones, people are seeing use case scenarios of trying to get the drone basically to do jobs a little bit easier. So drones in general have made jobs easier. And now we're going to take a thermal camera and stick it on there, and what are the applications that we can do? Well, FLIR came up with the FLIR Duo. This is a twin imaging camera, so we're able to have a standard camera thermal and then a normal camera RGB. The way to get a price point and a very small package, we're looking at $999 for the base price of something like this. So $1,000 for a thermal imager, and it's really a good system to put onto the drone. So we integrate it in. We can take that. The drone companies can put that into their systems, whatever they want, and then like I said, there's a lot of commercial applications. There's still fun things to do with it. So get it at a price point where it's still a consumer can consider playing with thermal, and there are consumer type stuff like the FLIR One that's like that little attachment thing. So there's these systems, and being able to put it on a drone and get it at a price point is really important. So
one of the things that I noticed about this little guy is that the size and shape are very familiar.
It is.
It looks very much like we're holding a GoPro. It seems like it's about that size. My guess is that's not accidental.
That is not accidental. So if we do really take a look at the way that the most of the early drones were using GoPros at the beginning, and there's still that capability of having a GoPro form factor that when we look at the ship here, we have a stabilized gimbal that is made for a GoPro. Okay. So as we just take this and substitute that, then we're now basically piping in thermal onto the application. We can see it here through the drone's feed, and we've just increased the ability to do other jobs and other stuff.
That's really cool. So do the ports then line up with a traditional GoPro so that it can be put into basically anywhere it would normally live?
Absolutely. So you can just strap it in there. Now, the Duo is not self-powered, so it doesn't have its own battery. To be able to fit all the mechanical components in there, we had to basically not use the battery to get the form factor right. And the GoPro, even though the shape is the same, the gimbals are really sensitive to weight and balances. So that's a huge thing. So if it's too heavy, the gimbals won't react right. So trying to get that weight right, yep, and then being able to get the ports right, plug it in, now we've got a really simple factor there. Yep.
So are these guys available on the market now? Are they just the standalone, or are there drones that have it built in? Like, where does this fit in?
Well, fantastic question. So since it's such a new product release, even manufacturers of the drone stuff are still trying to go, is that something that we need? Is that something we want to do? So I would probably see in the near future that some of the manufacturers would be busting back out their little GoPro gimbals, and possibly taking a unit that can be easily put into that and make that work. Now, that would be up to basically the drone manufacturer to try and integrate it into apps and control it in certain ways, but in the end of the day, we can still take this off like a GoPro. We can possibly power it and use it for other things, walking around and doing things and still having that capability of thermal. It doesn't have to go on a drone. So that's kind of a cool feature.
Very cool. So how does it get power?
So from the drone, you're running 5 volts out, and that's what the GoPro does. The GoPro does have an internal battery, so if it is turned on or powered on and the GoPro is being used, we're basically charging that onboard battery. but the power is coming in through the USB port, and it's the same port that any on a mini USB. So even if we wanted to power it separately today until a backpack type thing is made by FLIR, we can do one of the little power banks and plug it in and turn it on. And like I said, we've pretty much got an almost handheld setup. Camera specs and setups and everything else. This does have its own app, so we can change the way the way the camera reacts and do a couple of different settings on their app. But the app is not made for visual representation. It's just for setup. So.
And what kind of resolution are we getting out of this camera?
So this sensor on the thermal side is a 160 by 120. And it's not a really big sensor, but the bigger the sensor, obviously, the more expensive. So keeping it down to a cost is was really what the guidance was, to look at that as well.
And the bigger the thing.
Yeah, and then it ends up being much larger. So you'll take a look at other cameras that are bigger, absolutely, and absolutely more expensive. So. But yeah, we're pretty excited about the components and how it works and how it's going to be, and excited about the feedback that people are going to give us, because not everybody has got a thermal camera on a drone. So the case scenarios of seeing how it works, we're excited about that.
Very nice. And did you say that this version is available now?
It is available now. $9.99. You can buy those at FLIR.com. There will be obviously other dealers. And just to let you know, there's another version of this. So there's two, and one is the standard thermal camera. The other is called what we call radiometric camera. Okay. And the radiometric allows us to have a thermal temperature sensing. So it'll give you an output of thermal temperature. So, and then that is a lot more key on the inspection stuff. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, and that retails $12.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about these today.
Absolutely.
For continuing CES 2017 coverage, stay tuned to PLUGHITZlive.com.